Well, let's dance, Blue. I wish this was a longer video.
In order to defend the Constitution, to defend the American people, is to kill people.
No, prevent wars before they start, and if we don't end them.
People.
This is going to be important for what little bit I got into this. I got to about here.
Our purpose is to close with and destroy the enemies of our country. And for that,
we have to identify them to truly be an enemy first.
And oh, by the way,
we're going to get into that predictive nature of China and Russia in a minute.
But in the future, it's even going to be more accentuated. We are going to operate in a very compartmented, distributed battlefield. Of that, I have no doubt.
I believe in mission command. Believe that.
All this network stuff may or may not work, and I would bet
let's go back to crypto. Fucking regular old wind talkers on the system of transmitting runners,
in terms of shutting things down, cyber,
tin cans with wire hooked up to them.
The probability of us having push to talk,
but why?
Commo, is not high.
I mean, you could say you got enough resources. You could say you got enough copper, methane, lithium, whatever.
Al-Qaeda and all that kind of stuff. We can have
oil,
a free ride.
Shit, we got oil.
In the air, in space,
Russians
satellites.
China's probably got oil.
Not
for sure.
Contested. You go against
I haven't
Russians,
really heard. I know we got
Iranians,
Texas oil,
Chinese.
Alaskan
That's
oil.
That is a different ballgame.
All over, up and down.
And if that ends up being the case, and I don't know if it will or not, it's not predictive.
An element,
but if it does,
anyways.
You can take it to the bank that you're not going to get directions right from the West Wing of the White House or the Pentagon. You might not even get directions from
not
your
about
next
trust. And if anything, calculus is nothing to do with trust.
How do you
it's
still
like
achieve success?
general relativity is
fast shit. Trust. You achieve it through mission command.
Mission command is correct.
Intent-based tactics. Understanding
intent
the purpose.
Intent.
Higher headquarters.
Well, again, you have to have why in any one military base for training does the output change? Why? There might be a new piece of equipment. There might be a new satellite terminal 225. There might be a new protocol for the mortar, for the artillery. But that's still based in calculus. I need those numbers. I need those numbers to be trusted and accurate. I'll agree you. But that's why we have ROTCs.
And it's all built upon that single word that's in the doctrine, that's in the doctrine of the profession, the bedrock of the ethic, which is trust. I trust that you will achieve the purpose.
I don't trust. I don't trust you have that
and morally and legally
at all.
Correct.
It's like I'm going to have runners that only are my sharps guy, my plague doctor in your territory that you can't do shit about. And that's the only way I'll ever guarantee trust. It's like letting a bunch of guys run around on the stone mill floor and never checking their work.
You've got to always do the right
China,
thing.
Russia,
no
anything you'd like to add outside the Kremlin or the Dragon Palace over here?
There are no rules. When there is no training schedule, there are no lawyers.
It's who you choose to do those things. When it got out, let's look at Philadelphia for a moment.
And it's intense. And
it's some point in time, somebody's like, "No, we're doing great around here."
And you just
have you seen Philadelphia?
Do you put a gun in his mouth and blow his brains out, i.e. murder? Or do you treat him in accordance with the laws of war?
Do you treat that junkie?
You have to do the right thing, and no one's watching. Nobody's watching.
Well, pick a city you like.
Right thing
there you go. We trusted him.
No one's watching.
It wasn't our enemy.
Trust is imperative.
If we were ever to fall, like if I'm going to talk to XR Putin, like I got to see your city. I mean, we have Philadelphia. Let's go down to a street corner. If you guys got something and you guys got something, we have a common problem. That's the reality on it. They don't put in taxes. Taxes come from somebody. If that gets distributed too much, entropy falls apart. You don't get new weapons. You don't have the luxury of even bother fighting. You might as well just kiss the ring, go back to the system, into reorganizing training, which is the standard model. That our troop training, our calculus standards are going to be better than anybody else's. Now, I can't prove the output of that after training or anything else is correct in those standards by the result on the ground. Here we trusted you for 2 years, General. What do you want me to tell you here? Here's another one. You got 11 minutes on this one? Sure, we get a 15-minute video out of it.
And trust matters in 3 ways, primarily, for us as part of the military profession.
And we trust that you're going to be safe. We trust you're going to provide the best quality you can and not fucking give up. And we
that we
trust
wear
that you're going
United
to put out a
States
quantity
Army,
that's enough for the day.
or United
'Cause
States Air
at
Force,
hourly
or
or
United
even
States
at
Marine Corps,
commissions
United
or
States
whatever
Navy,
you want,
or United States Coast Guard on our
helicopter crews.
uniforms.
I mean that's where you're at. I have to
We
say
are the
the job
people's
is to
army,
go through
and we
and do
always have
secondary
been the
protocol in
people's
every
army.
stone mill. I'd start with National Guard.
We come from the people,
I mean,
and
what
we defend the people.
if they
That's
were
our
trained in those
purpose.
companies, then
That's
they
the
have
only
ROTC
reason we
about
exist.
where the failures
There is
are
no
on a
other
recon,
reason.
safety, fundamental
America's
failure
army
analysis.
is a people's army,
Safety, fundamental failure, safety, quality,
and we
quantity.
have to maintain the trust
Three sides to a
of
pyramid,
the
General.
American people.
Well, four sides to it.
Right now,
Five.
you have it. Right now, we have it. Right now, the institution of the military has it. But trust is a fragile
Yours
thing.
would obviously be.
And every time
Well, I mean, it's Air
that
Force.
someone
Anything that you got a
breaks
helicopter, I don't
trust,
care if it's the National
you're
or Coast
chipping
Guard.
away
It's a
at
helicopter.
the trust,
It's Air
the
Force
bond, the
territory.
cohesion.
I don't care if it's
between the
Army.
people
It's got helicopter
and the
training.
people's
Therefore,
army.
it's an air turbulence equation. It's
So
about
trust is
predictive
fundamental.
natures of the hurricane,
And
down
it's an
forces,
incredibly
up
powerful
forces,
bond,
heat
but it's a
indexes
fragile
on
bond as
the
well,
turbines.
in that it can be
whatever.
broken apart with individual acts
Because they
or
don't care.
institutional acts.
I mean,
of
to be fair, General,
lack of character.
why didn't
of
you recruit a guy like me?
incompetence,
I
failure
mean,
to
I've
be
been
honest
trying to get in for a long
showing
time. It
integrity.
would have changed my attitude about, well, show me. But I can't
No
trust you.
bastards up at
I walk
squad
into your
attitude
recruiting station.
that's appropriate
in
for
Binghamton.
us as senior leaders of the
What
United
matter?
States Army. It doesn't work.
You have a soldier.
You don't want it done to you.
You have
wouldn't
the shilling
want
in
your
the bottom. Anytime
subordinates
you turn down
to
a
say,
soldier,
well, you know, General so
take a shot.
is a real jerk.
well,
or
is
whatever,
it better to
idiot,
not have a drill sergeant on you or one to have it on you?
You don't want to
I
be
guess it's
undermined.
trust, right?
You don't want your power, authority undermined. You expect loyalty.
Well,
And
you
you
do it with the
expect
workforce program,
professionals.
National Guard. I
And
go
if you
through
have a
Hancock. I
problem
need
with your
every single
boss,
job. I
the
need every single
professional thing to
business.
do
I need to know what
is
businesses
walk
are hurting
into
for
your boss
workers.
and say it.
And therefore, the workforce program in there to help
called
them figure
having
out what
guts,
detailed skills they
spine,
need to be able to
integrity,
replace them with
having
which ones
moral
aren't
courage,
working.
Speaking truth to power.
Have you ever used some of
What's
these recruiting
unprofessional
programs?
It's to snipe at the sidelines.
It's just a basic
to
resume.
undermine, to
That's
go to
all
the
it
water
is.
cooler,
For them
do
to
all
go,
those
well,
things.
this is the one I
That's
want. You have
unprofessional.
Indeed.com. Why do you need 30 different
So it's very,
recruiting
very
stations
important
in the same town?
that we
If
have
you would
trust
cut them
and
out,
confidence
they would only have
looking
Indeed.com.
as well.
They would only
And
have
where
Monster.com.
you have
And why would you
issues,
let them do that?
then you address them
I
and you
wouldn't.
address
I would
them in
use
a
Hancock
professional way.
System.com
It's also
that's in
important that you have
terms
trust
of
and confidence
TreadCon or
with our units on our left and right, with your teammates.
think it's
This army of ours,
inside
this
here about
military of
or
ours,
TreadDoc. That's what it is. Or
is
TrainDoc.
not an individual.
You know, and I'm
activity.
going through every one of them. This is the stone
This is
mill.
a
You gotta
group
have at least
activity.
these skills
The
to go
conduct of
through
war
and
is a
start.
group
That's
activity.
off the
And it
base.
requires
I'm gonna give you some of
teamwork.
the early foundation
Not
on
just
operating.
left
Then I'm
and
gonna
right
stick you in a
inside the
fucking
Army,
skid steer and I'm
but
gonna
left
watch you.
and right
I'm gonna
inside
shoulder you
the
until you
joint
can actually
force.
do the
Left
job,
and
and I've
right
trusted you.
inside the
I've trained lots of
interagency of
kids
the
on
United
forklifts
States
and skid
government.
steers.
Left and
Trained
right
guys on saws.
inside the
Trained guys on the
multinational
torch.
allied
Shit, I've
forces.
trained guys how to cut grass.
But trust is the bedrock of that.
There's ways to do
You have to
property.
be
You can
able
do
to
it well.
trust the person on your left and
Just
right.
can't,
What
just cut
breaks
grass
down
like it's all
trust
nasty.
is
There's
what
a
I would
chip,
call
there's
destructive
something, and if you
competitiveness.
forget about
You've
that
all
because
seen
you
it.
trust a
It's Courtney
brand new
Massacre.
employee, what's going to happen?
It's
Of
the
course
guy
you're going
who
to get sued.
stabs you in the back in order to
course,
advance
battle buddy.
himself. Sometimes it's done in very subtle, snide, snipey
Fuck you.
ways.
Yeah, you're
Open
a
and
fancy
like
calculus teacher. Well, you're actually a dean of a college.
Sometimes
That's
it's done in
what you
very
are.
open, gross,
Fancy.
disgusting
Break it
ways.
down.
But either
Well,
way,
colleges are limited.
whatever the
They're limited
technique,
fucking
tactic
people.
Of the guy
They have a
sniping,
limited college
it's
where
wrong.
that's where the district
And it
goes for.
breaks
But some
down
kid can
trust.
come from wherever they want in the country
So if you are like
Potentially
that,
the world.
cease fire.
and
if
come
you
in.
see people around you
What do you
like
think you
that,
do? How many
crush
boots
them.
can you take through
but
Fort
don't put
Knox
up
every
with it.
year? How many boots can you take through
Don't
one
put
of
up
the
with
Texas
Courtney
boots
Massacre.
every year?
You and I all learned about it when we were
Right?
lieutenants and captains.
You know, you
Just
have to
don't put up
backlog
with it.
that into the system sometimes.
Eliminate 'em. Purge
It's like,
'em from
well,
the system.
we got enough
We
what we
don't
need this
need
year.
them.
We don't need any more. That's why he gets out. Well,
break
then give
down
him the
trust.
first roster on
Very
the next time
bedrock
around.
of
Instead
our
of just
profession.
completely cutting me out
And then
and
you have
saying,
to
well, I'll
have
take a
trust
green
looking
18-year-old.
downward.
But can you trust
Don't
a
be
green
that
18-year-old?
general. Don't be that officer who's
Let's talk
always
about
looking upward and
Pavlovian
outward,
skid steer Stockholm
looking for your
syndrome
next
for a minute here.
Job. Take care of those soldiers and civilians and those family
That's
members
big talk, General.
that you're in charge of. and take it to
Well,
heart.
let's talk about it. Let's
Remember
just go
those
down to any one recruiting station,
2,406
any one barracks, and
people
begin to
killed,
show the
soldiers,
world what our
sailors, every
protocols
killed
are. What
at Pearl
at what
Harbor.
level do you think regular
love
boot
them
camp
and their
can't work?
families.
Where I wouldn't
Remember
be
the
proud
soldiers
of
that
some
died
kid from Hancock, New York,
underneath your
forming the
command
ranks out here,
in combat. You've all had
in line
Remember the soldier
for America.
that Secretary
Come in, I'll
Manning
be
was
happy
with
to tell you
yesterday
I'm basically
at
trained.
Walter Reed
That's
Army
a
Memorial
least
Hospital
less
when
cost
he
than what you
died.
have to do in case you have to come in my town.
and
Hold
loved
that
them
area.
as if they
Red
are
Dawn and
your
the Stone
own
Mill.
family.
Wouldn't matter if Putin rolled up in
Love
there with
your
the
soldiers. And
Spitnikov
if
or
that
the ninjas
fire
over here.
in the pit
The
of your
top
stomach
limit is going to be based
isn't
on this.
burning every day
Why?
when you
Because
get up,
it's not about
that
how
you
big you are.
love
You can be
being a
a
soldier.
fucking special forces. Those
That
torches have
soldiering is
limits.
a way of life.
Those
It's
limits
not
are
a
built
job.
in human infallibility
It's
of
a way
how
of life.
fast
It's
you
a
can
calling.
go,
It's a
your
profession.
turns between steps,
If that
go
fire
through
in
the
the pit
saw
of
and
your
go.
stomach is not
Wrap
there,
pallets, get another
then
one
do us
set,
all
and
a
try to
favor.
balance all
Go
that
see the
in one
vice, make an appointment
fluid
with the vice,
motion.
and
The
activate
reset
the letter
between the
that you all
drop
signed
of the
that says, "I'm
stack
out."
of me wrapping, getting one
But
band, put a
don't
stone up on the saw,
break the
finish the other
trust
one, do that,
you have with
unload
those
it,
soldiers.
throw another one back up on
They
there,
are
set a
looking to
pallet
every
down,
one of
while the
us
other guys
for
don't
leadership.
move.
Their very
keep
lives
hammering away
and
rock.
their limbs.
And every once in a while, you got to
Are
divvy
depending
that
on
up with the team.
They're
Who's going to do
looking
what
to you
operation? Do you have to give the proper signals
that
on those
leadership.
things?
That
Wouldn't
trust.
matter, Red Dawn in the Stone Mill,
trust
Red Dawn in
really
the
is.
grocery store.
It's not just
It's like,
words
oh,
in a
just because I
doctrine
got special
manual
forces
that
working there,
Lundy and Perkins have
product
put out a
sales
trade
are going to
off.
skyrocket, right?
That's not what it's about. It's real. It has real consequences.